Great. Now I'm going to make it so I can just see myself. So that's what there we go. That's what the video will look like. All right. Everybody can see me okay, hear me okay. Let's get started. So, my apologies. We have to preheat our oven on this very hot day. I wish we were making ceviche or something else, but today we're going to preheat our ovens to 350. So, let's start with that. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roast our red peppers. And I love the home roasted red peppers. And you can buy them in the bottle and they're delicious, right out of the jar can. But it's very easy to roast your own peppers. And I didn't realize it was quite this easy, but it works really well. So we're going to start by just halving our peppers and taking out the pith, the seeds. Let me get something to put those in. This down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So just quickly empty in all of the peppers of their insides and their stems and their seeds, but keep them in a nice half shape. Hmm. Hmm. There we go. Does anybody else have anything they do with red peppers that they enjoy? You can chat or you can talk about it. I mean, I like to just eat them in salads too, or just eat one like an apple. They're so good. So fresh tasting. All right, I have my peppers all halved. Oops. I'm gonna I'm gonna take some olive oil and I'm gonna put it on my roasting pan. so they don't stick. It's like I need another bottle of olive oil. There we go. Okay, so I've covered the bottom of my baking pan with olive oil. And I'm going to throw these peppers right on this baking pan. Just like that. And I'm going to put them in my oven. We're going to let those roast. In the meantime, we're going to take our head of cauliflower. And so at this point, we're just prepping vegetables. We'll get into the sauces in a minute. And I'm going to keep my cauliflower head whole, but I am going to cut off the leaves. And I'm going to kind of reach up in here and cut out as much of the stem as I can while keeping the cauliflower whole. So I've kind of pulled out that corner of stem, but I haven't disrupted the head of cauliflower. I still have it as a whole head. But it'll keep so we're going to cook it the whole thing and eat the whole thing, but it'll keep the tough stem out of the mix. And it should look like this when you're done. So I've kind of made it concave, but I still have my whole head. So I'm going to take a pot. I'm missing a pot here. Let's see. That is big enough to hold this head of cauliflower. Oh yeah, this one works just fine. And I'm gonna add just an inch or two of water in there. And I'm gonna put this on my stove top, turn it on high, cover it up, and we're gonna let it steam for about 8 minutes. Once the water starts boiling. What are some other things people do with cauliflower? How do people like to eat their cauliflower?
Well, I've been putting mine with along with some sweet potatoes and cooking them up and mashing them. And and it really makes a nice, and you can even put some regular potatoes, Yukon Gold or something in there. And it's like mashed potatoes, but I throw in some garlic and stuff. But the cauliflower is really good mashed, especially if it's with another kind of little potato. I like it.
That makes sense. Yeah. I know people do like the cauliflower noodles. I haven't ever done that. I don't know if they're cooked ahead of time and then shaped or.
Yeah, I don't know about those. Air fryer. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. It gets all crispy.
Right.
Do you put a little oil on it, Meg? Or do you just keep it without the oil? Oiled florets in the air fryer. That sounds yummy.
Monica, I was trying to find your recipes on my email to look at them, and I can't find the one you sent that had the recipes.
Oh, well, it's in Eventbrite, or it came from Eventbrite. So
Right. Oh, maybe I'll do that instead of from you. Okay, I'll look.
search Eventbrite. Oh yeah. Meg says the air fried cauliflower competes with popcorn. That makes sense. Alrighty. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to prep our carrots. And I do very minimal prep with this carrot dish. Basically, I don't do any prep. I just put them into a dish. I'll put them into this big pan here. And we're gonna roast these carrots, and then we're gonna have them with a muhammara sauce. I don't know if I'm saying it right, muhammara. You know, I think I'll use another one of my big baking sheets, come to think of it, so I can do even more. I got invited to a barbecue after this, so I said, well, I'll bring the vegetables. It's right after this class, so I'm just gonna put a lot of carrots, maybe that's enough, onto my baking dish. And then again, I'm gonna douse them, and I just do them whole because I kind of like that presentation of the whole carrots. I even keep the little leafy things. And I'm gonna do some olive oil.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
And then I'm gonna sprinkle them with some salt. And then they're going in the oven as well.
No.
Does somebody have a question?
Oh, I did unmute.
You're unmuted? Yeah. Oh, it was an accident? Okay, I can smell those peppers already. Are any of you else doing this along with me, or is everybody just watching? The roasted red peppers smell really good. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and the first sauce, we're gonna get into our first sauce we're gonna make is the tahini sauce for the cauliflower. Hi, did you have a question? Okay. So we are going to gather some tahini, olive oil, honey, za'atar, salt, Italian parsley, and that's what we're going to put in our sauce. So and I have measurements here, which I've been making this sauce so long, I never use measurements. And so I guesstimated what I was doing when I make it. So I'm going to go ahead and use my measurements. We'll taste it and we'll see if we need to adjust it all. So I'm going to make mine in my food processor here. So my cauliflower is just started to steam, so I'm going to set the timer to 8 minutes so that we don't forget to take it out. And I'm going to go ahead and put half a cup of the tahini. We've got two sauces that use tahini, but they're so different that I felt like it was okay to do them in the same class because they just have such different tastes. I turned my cauliflower down just a titch so it would just steam instead of boiling the water out. So there's my half a cup of tahini. Now we're doing half a cup of olive oil. Now we're doing a tablespoon of honey.
Do you buy the zucchini already? The zucchini, how do you do that? You just,
There's no zucchini.
oh, what did you say?
Oh, sorry, Carmen. Tahini.
Tahini.
Yeah, tahini.
Ro-
The roasted sesame.
Oh, roasted, okay.
Yeah, roasted tahini.
Okay, roasted.
We're gonna put in a tablespoon of honey.
What was that?
A tablespoon of honey.
Honey, okay.
And now we have a teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon of za'atar.
Tablespoon of what?
It's a seasoning called za'atar.
Oh, David. And then,
Duck.
oh, if you have any question, she said.
Hi, did you have a question?
Daca?
Za'atar. It's Z-A.
Oh, za'atar. I don't know. I haven't used that before.
It's delicious. It's a spice mix. It's got sesame and oregano.
Oh, where do you get that?
We sell it at the co-op in our bulk
Oh, you do?
section. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
It's a wonderful spice. I love using it. So a tablespoon of za'atar, a teaspoon of salt. Let me go grab my teaspoon. All right. And then we also want to put parsley in here.
Cilantro.
Parsley. Italian.
Parsley.
Uh-huh.
Parsley.
Yeah.
Perejil.
So I'm gonna, I said half a bunch, so I'm gonna cut that off. I half a bunch, and I'm gonna toss it right in here. All right, let's see how that works. There's my lid. Okay, I'm gonna make a loud noise. All right. And that's all there is to our first spice. All there is to it. So here it is in my food processor. I'm gonna dip a spoon in here and see how it tastes. Mmm. Mmm. Delicious. So now I'm gonna poke my cauliflower and see how it's coming. Oh, I'm gonna take it off early. I'm gonna recommend less time than 8 minutes because that seems like that's getting a little too soft and I don't want it to fall apart on me. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain it. And we're ready to get this ready to roast. I'm gonna peek at my red peppers. They're doing great. Alrighty. So I'm gonna put my cauliflower into a baking pan. Good idea to drizzle some olive oil in the bottom of the baking pan just to keep it from sticking. And then, so here's my whole head of cauliflower. So now I'm gonna do, this is one of my favorite parts of this recipe. I'm going to make little pricks in my cauliflower. My knife. I'm gonna make little slits and I'm gonna stick a dried apricot in each of those little slits. And then I'm gonna put in as many of those little slits as my cauliflower is gonna let me. And it did get a little too soft, so I'm gonna recommend maybe like a 3 to 4 minute steam on that cauliflower. I usually at work, I just start it roasting and I don't do the steaming method. I just roast it a little bit and then do the slits. But I thought I would try it this way this time. And this looks so pretty when it's made. It's a fun thing to take to a party and impress everybody with your cooking prowess.
We cannot see what you do.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm making little slits in the cauliflower. And I am sticking in dried apricots. And because I made the cauliflower a little too soft in the steaming, it's falling apart a little, but I'm trying to hold it together as well as possible. So now it is ready for half my sauce to go on it. So I'm not going to pour all the sauce on it because I want to put a little sauce on it, fresh on it after it roasts. So I'm going to pour half the sauce over it, like that. And then I'm going to put that into the oven, along with the carrots and the peppers. All righty. Now I'm gonna, let's see, what's next?
How many degrees in the oven?
Yeah, I put it in the oven.
For how many degrees?
Oh, I have it at 350.
350? For how long?
Till it is brown and pretty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll depend on the size of the size of the cauliflower, yeah. Did I say 350 in my, I might have said a higher. Oh, I think I said 450 to roast the red peppers because they are roasting slowly. So I think I am going to turn my oven up to 450 just until the red peppers get roasted. That'll make them go a little faster. And since the cauliflower is already so well prepped with the steaming, I think it's okay that it'll soften up enough at 450. So I just turned it up to 450. And that's the thing about cooking is you want to be flexible and say, well, I want this to cook a little faster, or, I often am impatient too. So that's not a good thing. You want to be patient and let things have their time. But I think 450 is going to work better for the fish and the other sauces. So I'm going to go ahead and wash out my food processor because we'll be making all the sauces in there. While I'm doing that, does anyone want to talk about veggies they like to roast? Nobody has any roasted oh, here we go. Diane says broccoli, onions, mushrooms, potatoes, and garlic. So you roast those all together in a roasting dish and get the combined flavors.
Is that, excuse me, is that, she puts that in the air fryer?
She put that in the chat, yes.
So that was the cauliflower also?
No, this is Diane, who's here as well, said that she likes to do broccoli. Oh, she did it directly to me. Broccoli, onions, mushrooms, potatoes, and garlic. So
Oh,
Diane,
broccoli,
yeah, Diane, do you put those all together?
potatoes and garlic, and the air fryer?
Yes, all together on a sheet pan. Also add cut up pieces of sausages. So broccoli, onions, mushrooms, potatoes, and garlic. That does sound good.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe we should roast our walnuts for and our pine nuts. Let's do a little nut roasting while we're waiting for our vegetables to finish roasting. So I'm gonna go grab some walnuts because in the muhammara sauce, we have toasted walnuts, more tahini, olive oil, lemon juice, salt, paprika, and red pepper flakes.
Yeah. I may be here until 5 p.m. Could you send me the video too? You
Yeah.
said you're going to send it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a video, or we're making the video, and I'm gonna put it on our.
Yeah, because I have to do some things at 5.
You bet. I'll
Thank
send
you.
everybody a link of the video, so if you miss part of it, you can catch it later.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I think I'm gonna, excuse me, roast the walnuts in the oven. And let's see, I said a half a cup of roasted walnuts. So I'm gonna guesstimate a half a cup here. I'm just gonna plop those in the oven with everything else. That way I can peek at them, see how everything's doing. Now that I've turned it up, it's getting a little more action in there. And I'm gonna take my pine nuts, and I know pine nuts are expensive, so if you didn't buy pine nuts, it's not imperative for this recipe. But we're gonna sprinkle those as a garnish on top of the cauliflower. So if I can figure out what I did with mine, I remember putting them in a little bowl. I set them on the shelf behind me. Always a good way to hide something. I'm gonna take those and I'm gonna stovetop roast those. So I'm just gonna turn on this burner and sprinkle the pine nuts that I want to use into this pan.
What's that again?
Pine nuts.
Pine nuts. Oh, wow.
So I've got a pan of pine
Half a
nuts.
cup.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna toast them until they get a little brown and the flavors come out. So let's see, I think probably the next thing we want to do is get all the ingredients into the, start putting ingredients into the food processor for the muhammara sauce.
Oh.
Or maybe we should make, the hollandaise.
What is muhammara?
Muhammara is the sauce that we're going to put on the roast carrots. Here's a question. I do. So Adelaide asked me if I have a hand in coming up with recipes that we use on the salad bar at the co-op, and I do. I cook for the salad bar, excuse me, 3 days a week. Mm. And the way that we do that often is, you know, we often have our favorite recipes. Like you'll notice I make the roast carrots with muhammara pretty much every week, and the sweet potato cake that everybody loves. But I also will come in and there'll be something new from a local farm that we didn't have last week. So a lot of the recipe coming up with is figuring out how to use seasonal ingredients and make delicious dishes with those. So yeah, it's a lot of fun and very creative work. Did you have any specific questions about the salad bar recipes? Any more questions?
What is muhammara?
Muhammara is a sauce. I'm guessing it's Middle Eastern. I discovered it when I went to Philadelphia to visit my daughter. She works for a really good restaurant in Philadelphia.
Mm.
Oh, thank you, Adelaide. She says everything I try is great. we really appreciate that. We work hard, and I'm so glad everybody enjoys it. So Meg says sweet potato cake. Please share more. So Meg, we have a co-op newsletter, and I did share the recipe for that sweet potato cake in the co-op newsletter, but really I got the recipe from Bon Appetit, and it's called sweet potato cake with salted cream cheese frosting, I think is the title of the cake. And so if you go to Bon Appetit's website, you can get that recipe from them. And I also put it in one of our newsletters, and I can't remember, I think it was a while back, but if you go to the Olympia Food Co-op website, you'll see all of our newsletters, and you might have to dig through a few, but there's a lot of great recipes in those newsletters. I've done a bunch of them, and people, I'm starting to do guest chef pieces. And so if you want to be a guest chef in our table magazine, just let me know. So Meg asks, is it similar to carrot cake? Kind of. You mash, or you blend the sweet potatoes into the batter, and so it doesn't have any of the chunkiness of carrot cake. It's a smooth batter, but it's bright orange, and it tastes like sweet potato cake, and it's super delicious. And then of course the salted cream cheese, it's like a butter cream cheese frosting, is to die for. So Bon Appetit comes up with some great cakes. Last week I made a chocolate sheet cake with brown buttercream frosting that was unbelievable. So yeah, those are very popular. So I think we should go ahead with the hollandaise sauce and stick our fish in the oven, and then we'll make the muhammara last, because I think that might be a good way to time this. All right, I'm taking my pine nuts are roasted. I'm going to take them off. I don't want to waste any of those precious things because they are super expensive. I just peeked in my oven. Everything's like the peppers are starting to brown. And I was so excited when I learned how to roast my own red peppers and how easy it is. So one of the things, if you're cooking along, that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a container big enough to put all the red peppers in and cover with a lid. And so I'm pulling this. I don't know if that's going to be big enough. Maybe I'll find something bigger. Well, I've got a couple of these, so if I have to put them in two. So when we take our red peppers out, we're going to want to immediately put them into an airtight container. It can be a plastic bag, anything with a lid that makes it airtight. So let's get started with the hollandaise sauce. Does everybody here love hollandaise sauce? I love hollandaise sauce. So my first two dishes are vegan. This dish is definitely not vegan, but boy, hollandaise sauce is so good. Oh, Adelaide has something to say about muhammara. I was introduced to muhammara at the Catalyst, wonderful restaurant in Missoula. They serve it with several of their breakfast dishes. Oh, that's interesting. So what sort of things do they put it on? And while you're typing your reply, I'll finish my story about where I learned about muhammara as well. So my daughter, we went to, she manages a restaurant called Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's delicious. The food is just unbelievable. If you're ever in Philadelphia, make a reservation. They're amazing. And so we ate there and she said, oh, we have to get the roast carrots. And I was like, kind of indifferent about roast carrots, to tell the truth. I love raw carrots. I'm not crazy about them cooked. And we got the roast carrots and I just couldn't believe how delicious they were. I was like, what makes these so good? And she said, it's the muhammara sauce. And so I immediately learned to make it. And now I make it every week for the salad bar. So I can share that deliciousness with all the co-op folks. So we're going to learn to make it today. So let's get started on our hollandaise and let's see if if Adelaide, I'm curious what breakfast dishes they put it on. Do they put it on eggs or potatoes or? Oh, Adelaide's working on it. Thank you. Well, let's get started on the hollandaise. So the thing about hollandaise is I've always thought it was very difficult to make. And then I found this blender hollandaise recipe, and I think it makes a delicious hollandaise, and it is ridiculously easy. So we're going to make it now, and you will see how ridiculously easy it is. So we're going to start with 3 egg yolks. I'm going to peek and make sure those, oh yeah. Oh, everything's looking so pretty in there. I'm going to pull 3 eggs out. And I'm going to get 2 bowls so I can separate the eggs, the whites from the yolks. Sorry, that was loud. Now I'm going to take my eggs and I'm going to separate them. 1. 2. Does anybody have a good use for egg whites besides giving them to the dogs? Because I have 3 here. Luckily, I have 3 big dogs who will always eat up any leftovers happily. So I'm gonna take my egg yolks. I'm gonna get myself some lemon juice. Let's see, what did I say? 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. So 2 tablespoons is probably half a lemon, I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna put my egg yolks into my food processor. I'm gonna put my lemon juice, 2 tablespoons. Yep, that's about exactly right. 2 tablespoons or half a lemon. Drop the seed in there, gonna pull out. There we go. Okay. So I got 3 egg yolks, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now I'm gonna melt half a cup of butter. So that is 1 stick of butter. And you can do this a couple ways. You can use salted butter, and then you don't need to salt the hollandaise. Or if all you have is unsalted butter, you can use that as well and just add a little salt to the hollandaise. So either one works. I'm gonna put my butter on to melt. Oh, I'm gonna pull my walnuts out of the oven. They look tasty. Ooh, everything's just going along nice. I'm glad I turned the oven up. All right, melt that butter. And then I think the other ingredient was a pinch of cayenne into the. Oh, can I show off my spice cabinet? I made it. I built it myself. So pinch of cayenne. Put that in my food processor. All right. Oh, we got some things. Oh, Meg has some egg white omelets or frittata. Have them for breakfast tomorrow. Toss in some spinach and cheese. That sounds delicious. I've never had an egg white omelet, but I'm gonna have one tomorrow with some spinach and cheese. That sounds amazing. Thank you, Meg. This is why I like to get together with people who like to cook, because you get so many good ideas from other people. You can hear my butter sizzling over there. Now, while that butter melts, I am going to put my fish into a baking dish. And I think perhaps instead of olive oil, I'm going to butter this dish. fish doesn't stick. Just spread a little butter in the bottom. And then I'm gonna grab my fish. And at the co-op, we sell cod, salmon, and shrimp and scallops. So like the only kind of fishes we sell. Sometimes I go to the local fish market and splurge on some fresh caught fish. We're lucky to live in the Northwest where there's a lot of good fish. But for this class, I just wanted to get things that we sell at the co-op. So I just got these wild caught cod portions that we have in our freezer. Caught in Alaska. And I'm gonna plop those into my baking dish. And my butter is melted. I'm gonna let it cool a little bit because I was being impatient and melted it on high. So I'm gonna let it stop sizzling so that it doesn't cook the eggs. And then all we're gonna do to make this hollandaise is we're gonna slowly drizzle while we blend the melted butter into the eggs and lemon with a pinch of cayenne. And that's gonna make our hollandaise, and that is how easy it is to make delicious hollandaise. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my food processor. Oh, maybe I'm not. I'm gonna slowly pour this butter in, and you can just see it thickening right up, turning into a delicious, delicious sauce. Let that go for a little bit. And there you have it, sauce number 2. Now, fish doesn't take long to cook. I'm famous for over baking fish. So we're gonna, and again, we're gonna do, oh, let me taste it. Oh my goodness, it's so delicious. So good. I'm gonna add just a pinch of salt to the fish. And then I'm going to pour the hollandaise. Again, we're gonna use half the hollandaise to bake the fish into. And then we're gonna save some to drizzle onto the fish when it is baked. So we have some hollandaise baked in there and some fresh hollandaise to garnish it with. Okay, so I'm gonna pop the fish in the oven, and I think my cauliflower is done. So what did I do with my hot pads? I'm gonna pull the cauliflower out. Look at that. Oh my goodness. How's that for gorgeous? What do you think? Is that a showstopper or what? So you got the sauce baked onto it. You've got the apricots, which soften right up. All right, so Adelaide said that. Oh, they have muhammara on the menu as a condiment. Oh, they have it on the Aleppo wrap. That sounds delicious. Basically, a roast of catnip potatoes, mushrooms, walnuts, and tofu, tomato, kale, and cheese. Also, the roasted veggie sandwich. Yeah, that makes sense. I think roasted veggies and muhammara. But that sounds so good in Missoula, Montana. So if you're in Missoula, go to the Catalyst and get their good muhammara dishes. Anyway, here's our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cauliflower. And now we're gonna place the some of the fresh sauce on there, so you get, you know, a combination of the like dark roasty appearance and then the fresh sauce on there. Doesn't that look good? And then we're gonna sprinkle on our toasted pine nuts. You could add a little bit more of fresh parsley leaves if you like. And that's going with me to the barbecue. What do you think? Should we give it a little taste test? Let's see how it turned out. Oh, it's very hot. Oh, for those of you not making this with me, I'm sorry because it's so delicious. Yep. You're going to be happy when you make it. All right. Ooh, that was a nice distraction. Okay, now we're going to throw the fish in the oven. Ooh, I think my carrots might be done. I think the red peppers are very close. It's all happening at once, which is how cooking is, right? I'm gonna let my carrots go a little longer. I'm gonna flip these red peppers so they get evenly roasted. Stick the fish in. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna set the timer for 10 minutes. Don't want to cook it any longer than that. All right, now I have to wash my, oh, here's another cauliflower and apricots. Yeah, it's an interesting combination. The apricots like sweeten up the dish and add just such a nice complex flavor. And then the tahini sauce, and it's got that little sweetness, that little bit of honey in there. But it's also, you know, tahini has kind of a bitterness and a dryness to it. And so, I don't know, the combination is just gorgeous. And the za'atar, it makes such a nice dish. All right, now I'm gonna wash my dish with the hollandaise so that we could do the final sauce, the muhammara, the crowning glory. So I'm putting my hollandaise into another dish. Let's see, what should we talk about while I'm doing that? Oh, other things you like hollandaise on. I mean, of course, there's eggs Benedict. I love hollandaise on roasted asparagus. Anything else? Oh, well, if I were wealthier, I would have a lineup of 3 clean food processors so that I didn't have to stop and wash them, but I know you all don't mind. All right, so let's check those roasted red peppers. I bet they're done. Now take a look at these peppers. So you want the tops to be pretty much blackened, not burnt, but you know, real dark. And I'm gonna take them and I am gonna throw them into my pot. Find a good spatula. I mean, into my airtight container that I can put a lid on. Oh, they're gonna fit perfectly in this bowl. That is exciting. And there they go. All right, put the lid on. Now we're gonna let those cool. Then you'll be shocked at how easy they are to peel. Take the skins off of once we let them cool in there. While we're letting those cool, we are going to put the other ingredients for the muhammara into the food processor. I'm losing my words. I think I need coffee. Meg says, did you ever cut the apricots into smaller pieces? I don't. I like to get a big chunk of apricot in there with your cauliflower. But you could. You're putting them into the crevices of the cauliflower. You can, yeah, I mean, you could also cut them up and sprinkle them on top as a garnish, or before you bake them. That would be kind of neat if you wanted more apricot flavor. All righty. So let's start to assemble everything but the roasted red peppers into the food processor. So I've got my toasted walnuts. Let's see. Yum. Toasted to perfection. And again, I apologize that I left this lovely ingredient out of the recipe list. I'm so sorry about that. Desiree will have to remember to put that into the recipes if we put them in the table magazine. But this is pomegranate molasses, and it has a flavor that's not like many other things. I'm going to take a little taste and try to describe it. So it's a little sweet, but not very sweet. It's mostly like tart and tastes like pomegranates. I did not have pomegranate last week when I prepped these dishes for this class, and I used a little maraschino cherry juice. I have a bottle of maraschino cherries in my fridge, and that wasn't quite the flavor depth that I wanted, but it was pretty good. We do sell this pomegranate molasses at the co-op. You can probably get it at most Middle Eastern grocery stores or markets as well. This is al-wadi. It comes from Lebanon originally. So it is, I think, pretty common in Middle Eastern cooking. It really, really makes the muhammara. So when I was shopping last night, I was so horrified to see that I'd forgotten it on the recipe list. Okay, so we're gonna get our tahini, and we're doing half a cup of tahini in this one as well. I'm gonna throw that in there with the walnuts. And half a cup of olive oil. Gosh, this is sounding very familiar. Okay. 2 tablespoons lemon juice. Oh, deja vu. So the other half of the lemon. I'm just gonna, since I know that's already 2 tablespoons, I'm just gonna go ahead and squeeze that right in there. And my fish is nearly finished. Alrighty. With the lemon juice, teaspoon of salt. There's my fish timer. Let's check on that fish. Ooh-wee. We got ourselves some golden bubbly hollandaise surrounding the fish. Ah, oh boy, oh boy. Need another set of hands here. There we go, look at that. Let's pop this up here. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Let's see if it's cooked through. I'm gonna actually do a tip check on it. That's what we do in the official kitchen. And it is at 136, which once it sits for 5 minutes, it'll go up to, oh yeah, 145. Yeah, it's already gone up. So when you take something out of the oven, it will go up 10 degrees often as it sits. So now it's already up to 145. And that's where we want it. So I'm not going to cook it anymore. And you can see that it's all the way white all the way through. It's flaky. And look at that bubbly golden hollandaise all around it. See, look at that flake. It's very nice. I'm going to give it a taste. Oh my God, it's really good. I don't even know if I need to put any more hollandaise on here because the hollandaise is just surrounding it so beautifully. Maybe I'll just do a tiny drizzle of hollandaise on here. Oh, let me show you. And then maybe I'll save the rest of that hollandaise for my egg white omelet tomorrow. Sprinkle a little of that over my egg white omelet, and we'll have an egg white omelet with egg yolk. All right, I'm gonna finish the garnish with some fresh ground pepper. And then I do believe we have some delicious fish with hollandaise. And Destra, you asked a question, do we have it at the co-op? Do we have smaller apricots or the cod?
Oh, I was referring to that pomegranate molasses.
Oh, yes. Yep. We sell
Good.
2 brands at the co-op, 2 different ones.
Good to know.
Yeah. All right. So we've almost got dinner here, right? We've got delicious fish. We've got our cauliflower dish. There they are. All right. And let's finish putting the ingredients into the muhammara, and then we're going to peel our roasted red peppers and finish that dish off. So, and I think we'll be done early tonight. So what did I say? Paprika. How much did I say to put in? Again, I'm always just like, whatever. So I said 2 teaspoons. And again, this is to taste. So adjust it, anything the way that you like it. Paprika is delicious. Red pepper flakes. Now these are super spicy. So when I make it for the co-op, I just sprinkle a little bit in. When I make it for me, I'm going to sprinkle a fair amount in because I like heat in my food. I like spice. So however you like it. And that's why I didn't put a amount on that, because it is very subjective how much red pepper people want in their food. Okay. Now we've got our red peppers. I hope they're cool enough to handle. So they've been sitting covered, and they're still gorgeous, kind of deflated. And you're just gonna take them, and the skins are gonna just peel right off so easily. And I was so excited, like I said, to learn to make my own roasted red peppers, because I just think it's a delicious ingredient. And whenever you make something fresh, it's just all the more delicious because it's nice and fresh. So you're going to love the way these taste. Just the smell of them right now. If you're not making this at home, I wish you could smell this because it just smells amazing. They're still a little hot, so I'm going to carefully peel them. Luckily, I have fairly tough hands from doing a lot of cooking. I'm going to get a little knife to help me peel them. Oh, I should check my carrots too while I'm at it. Oh, what did I do with my hot pads? Who knows? Yeah. Oh, the oven blast. I think my carrots are roasted to perfection. You can hear them sizzling. There they are. So, ouch, I'm gonna put them down before they burn my hand off. Set those aside. Not a very good hot pad. All right. We're gonna finish skinning the red peppers. Once I get one skinned, I'm just gonna plop it right into my blender. It just smells so good. Anybody? How much molasses? Oh, I haven't added the molasses yet. Thank you, Diane. I seem to be wanting to forget that at every turn. I'm gonna add the molasses at the end. And since I didn't put it into the recipe, that's a very good question. How much do you add? And again, I have never measured it. So I'm gonna guesstimate about 2 tablespoons. You want a fair amount. When I make it, I just drizzle it, which I think might add up to a couple of tablespoons. I mean, depending on how much muhammara you're making. You want to give it a good drizzle. Maybe we should put that in the recipe. Sorry about the laborious process, but it is super easy to just pull these. Oh, here, let me push this down so you can see what I'm doing. Just those peels just peel right off. And I've got another one to plop in the blender. If they weren't hot, it would be super easy. But even hot, it's very easy to get these skins. If you get the end of the skin, you can just, most of it will just come off with one tug. Look at that. Look at that beautiful red pepper flesh that you get left with. Anybody have anything to say while you're watching me do this task? Ooh, my dog got that piece.
Monica?
Yes.
Yes, Desdra.
Hi, Desdra.
Once I have that pomegranate molasses, what other things can you do with that besides this recipe? Do you use it for other things?
Yeah, I mean, once you taste it, you'll get an idea. I think you could probably put it in salad dressings. What else? Other sauces. It's
But this is the main thing you've used it for?
This is the only thing I've ever used it for.
Uh-huh.
But and once you taste this, you're probably just gonna want to make muhammara as a regular part of your eating. You can put it on, well, some of those ideas from that restaurant in Missoula, put it on like a roast. Oh, it's ready. Everything's out, and I'm fortunate to have another person who lives here who makes homemade bread. So they're gonna pop that into the oven behind me.
Actually, it sounds good on ice cream.
On ice cream?
I wonder what that would be like over like vanilla ice cream.
Oh, that's an interesting, because of it would be kind of like salt and straw kind of thing where you're mixing the flavors. I actually have some vanilla ice cream. So once I get this final pepper peeled, we can give it a little taste test. I can tell you what I think. You all get to sit and watch me taste all the good food today. But yeah, that's kind of a cool idea. We have an ice cream maker, so we try all kinds of things. And one thing I can tell you never to try is sriracha ice cream. Not, not,
Yeah.
not good. We all love sriracha. We thought it'd be delicious, but it wasn't. All right, there's this kind of water from the peppers. I think I'm gonna throw that in there too because it just has so much flavor. Move, Scrappy. You can't see them, but there's dogs all around me on the floor getting into the way. All right, let's make that. Oh, let's not forget. And we put the salt in, right? Does anybody remember if I put the salt in or not? I don't think I did.
It doesn't seem like it, Monica.
Yeah, I don't think I did. So I think I said a teaspoon of salt. So let's put that in.
I had a question about those roasted red peppers,
Yeah.
Monica.
Yeah.
Do you need to peel them while they're still hot, or could you let them cool and
You
then
can let
peel
them
them?
cool. Yeah, you can let them cool as much as you need to. I'm
Okay.
speeding it up so that you all don't have to wait while they cool and everything else is done. But yeah, you don't have to be like like I was. You can wait until they cool and just peel them.
Okay.
So I'm gonna. Well, oh gosh, I'm gonna go ahead and I guess see if 2 tablespoons seems the right amount. And then we can always add more. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 tablespoons of this pomegranate molasses right into my blender. Since, did you not make Got some tinfoil action going on in the background. I'm sure y'all could hear that. All right, so now my food processor is full of the muhammara ingredients. And I'm gonna give it a spin. And you kind of want it a little thick, a little chunky. Here's what it looks like. It's beautiful golden orange color. Let's give it a taste and see how it went. Oh my goodness. It's so delicious. Okay. Oh, and my my dog thinks that it's dinner time and it's getting close. So I don't know, Adelaide, maybe you can. Was it Adelaide? Yeah, maybe you can help describe this flavor for those who aren't making it at home. It's so good. It is so delicious that I just can't even believe it. Oh, Meg has some good ideas. I believe many Middle East cocktails have pomegranate molasses, so you can put it in cocktails. Yum. Thank you, Meg. So yeah, I don't know, Meg, can you describe how muhammara tastes? It's just so good. I'm gonna find a serving dish to put my roast carrots in. We're gonna give it a try. All right, so here are my roast carrots. And like I say, I just leave them whole. I like that presentation, and then people can cut them up with a fork and knife, on their plate. Let's see. Delicious tart sweet with a little heat. Yeah. And there's something just so earthy about those roasted red peppers, that flavor, especially when you do them fresh like this. So yeah, delicious tart and sweet. And then Meg says, yeah, that it's often used as a dip. It's true. You could dip like fresh vegetables into muhammara as well, and that would be delicious. It's just so. Oh, are we thinking about, yeah, the muhammara? So I'm gonna show you how I like to serve these with the muhammara just drizzled right on here. At the co-op, because we're packaging them up to look pretty, you can or we put the muhammara in the bottom of the dish, and then cut up the roast carrots and put them on top. So you can present it many different ways. And I got a little extra. Looks like you're going to get a little extra in all these sauces, depending on how many people you're feeding. But there's my carrots with muhammara. Since I have some extra toasted pine nuts, I might as well use those as a garnish as well, because they're lovely and delicious. And why not? And there we are. Shall we give them a taste? All righty. Got myself a bite. Mmm. Mmm. Indescribable, the sweetness of the carrots, and then the tartness of and the heat going in with the sauce. We did good today. What do y'all think? Any final ideas? Here's something from Meg. Are the carrots intended to be warm or cold at the co-op? Well, that's a good question, and I think you could serve them either way at home. They're good both ways, and we don't have a warm bar. We have hot soups, but we don't have any hot foods at the co-op, so we sell them cold in the cold bar, and with the muhammara and the carrots, and I think they make a perfectly good dish cold. I think they will also taste good hot. We'll probably be eating them at room temperature at the barbecue I'm going to. And so, yeah, I think it's a pretty versatile dish.
Well, thank you, Monica. I think it was, oh yeah, it's killing me.
I know,
I'm eating like, blended soups right now. So, but I'll look forward to being able to make them. And I sent you an email because I couldn't find the recipes that you had sent out originally. I still couldn't find.
Well, I will add the 2 tablespoons of pomegranate molasses and get that to you. Meg says some good ideas. Thank you for the class. Well, thank you for coming. It's lovely to have people from all over the country. Adelaide says served with eggplant also, I think. I think that would be delicious, like grill some eggplant with a little olive oil and salt and maybe even a little garlic and put this on top. That would be delicious. Diane says, thank you for sharing these recipes and information with us. Are you teaching any more classes online? Sure. If you all enjoyed this, I would be happy to teach more online classes. It works well for me because I'm here in my kitchen where I know where everything is, and it's easy, you know, we can get people from Tennessee and all over the country, and that's fun. Thank you all for coming. And yeah, I'd be happy to do more online Zoom classes. I think it's a lot of fun. I like to do them for free because you're all buying your ingredients yourselves. So that's a nice thing as well. Thank you for coming, Laura. I'm so glad you're going to try these recipes. They really are quite delicious. And Desdra, thank you for the idea of doing a sauces class. And if any of you have favorite foods that you would like to teach, it's fun. And you can do it online like I did from your own kitchen, or you can do it, I can set up a class for you in town if you'd rather do it in person. And thank you all so much for coming. I really appreciate it.